Now let's get on to the Tottenham injuries and who is going to miss out this weekend against Crystal Palace. So let's start off.
Who's going to play?
Exactly, who's going to bloody play?
That'll be a short list.
It's this kind of stuff in South America could not have happened at a worse time. So obviously, Sanchez, Lo Celso and Romero are all quarantining in Croatia. They're going to be back for the Chelsea game, but they're out this weekend for the Palace game. And it literally could not have come at a worse time, could it, Sim?
No, it couldn't, because the injuries are completely mounting up at the moment in the camp, and it's kind of worrying what kind of side they're going to put out, because it's not confirmed yet that everyone who's gone off injured is going to be out for the weekend, because there could be little niggling injuries or whatever. But if we assume the worst and they're all out for the weekend, or could even be further than that, then we are struggling in terms of what kind of team we're going to put out who Nuno can trust, because he's going to have to put some players in who haven't earned their place yet, and he hasn't fully trusted before today. Yeah. And he's going there. And look, I guess you can see it as a good opportunity for those players to kind of stake a claim for the first team. But it's one of those things where it's a big struggle for Nuno.
Yeah, it really is. Let's start off with Ryan Sessegnon, because he got sent home from England under-21 duty through injury. And the thing is with Sessegnon, it's just we can't consistently keep him fit.
Nope.
He's got big injury problems, Ryan Sessegnon, and he needs to get over them. He really does, and maybe that's what contributes to his confidence issue.
Yeah, because I remember that's what Bale was saying, that sometimes when you're always getting consistently injured, it can affect your ability to be sharp and be like explosive, because sometimes you don't want to go for that extra bit of that extra run or go the extra mile, because you're worried that if you push yourself a bit too much, you're going to break down and get injured again. And obviously, Sessegnon isn't like Bale in terms of age and how far he's gone in his career, but when he's had for the past 3 years now, pretty much consistent injuries, maybe that plays on your mind, and especially the muscular injuries, that can probably be that can be a worry for him. And yeah, he needs to go over it. Obviously, it's not his fault, but it's something that he needs to think about, because I remember, to be honest, Bale wasn't it under Redknapp. It wasn't Bale also before he became that amazing player when he first broke into the team for the second time. Like, he was this player who was getting consistently injured, like quite injury prone. Yeah. And I remember Harry Redknapp used to tell the players, and then what used to happen in training is he used to like go down all the time and like always be and always ask for treatment and stuff. And I remember Redknapp very clearly said there came to a point where I said enough is enough, and the next time he went down in training, he told the physios, don't go and treat him, just leave him alone. And apparently, I don't know if that's the right thing to do, because probably if someone's injured, you should go and treat them. Whatever.
That's such an old school style.
I know, it's very like toughen up, buddy. Bring it. What's it called? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, that kind of thing. But I'm just saying.
Imagine if Mourinho did that.
Exactly. Everyone be calling him toxic and everything. I'm just saying that's what Redknapp did, and Redknapp says that toughened him up a lot and gave him a strength, because I remember, when Bale came back into the team that second time, he was not just quality-wise, like physically, people were bouncing off him. Yeah, he was complete. Like physically, he was just a different player. He was so much stronger. He was like a rugby player all of a sudden. Before, he was kind of like a winger who had a little bit of pace.
Suddenly,
but
his
weak.
Shoulders were so broad.
Exactly, and he was brushing people off, and he was doing all that kind of stuff. Sessegnon needs to add that element to his game, because at the moment, he's quick, he's got quality, but I feel like he just isn't that strong. Yeah. And maybe that's what's contributing to him either getting injured or feeling like he's injured all the time. I don't know what's going on, and there's, interestingly enough, as we're talking about Sessegnon, there's a report at the moment there's reports in Turkey, because the Turkish window's still open for the next month. It says Ryan Sessegnon has been offered to Fenerbahce. According to apparently manager Vitor Pereira is positive about the player, and talks have begun in the last few hours. So that's reports in Turkey claiming that Sessegnon could be heading there on loan. Or it doesn't say on loan, actually. It just says it's been offered, but I'm assuming it's a loan deal.
Yeah.
That would be interesting if there's any truth to that.
Do you think it would be a good move for him?
Someone says their window closes today, so maybe that's something that could develop over the day.
Do you think that's a good move for him? Because I remember you were quite positive about Tanganga going there on loan.
Yeah, I was, but then obviously he showed. Then obviously I'm happy for him to say, because of the quality he showed against City, and he was so good. The thing with Sessegnon, would it be a good move for him? I wanted him to stay. to be honest, because I want him to really start developing for Tottenham. But if they're not convinced about giving him game time and stuff, then I guess it could be a good move for him. But then again, he was on loan at Hoffenheim last year. Was it Hoffenheim? Yeah, Hoffenheim last year. So that's a step down from that. That's the worry there. And he did quite well there. So
Although
I don't know.
he could get what? Could he get Champions League football at Fenerbahce?
I'm not sure. Not sure if they're in the Champions League. Probably. So I guess that'll be good. Look, I guess if it's a case where Nuno doesn't think he's going to get much game time, and he would rather him play, then it could be a good move for him. Yeah, sure, it could be a good move for him. Tanganga was a bit different. I feel like the reason I thought it was good for Tanganga is because...
Spider there, Sim.
Where? What are you talking about?
On your mic.
Oh, shit. Did it flick into my coffee? Why did I do that? No, it didn't. The reason I thought it was good for Tanganga is because he hasn't had so much football. So he's had a few games for Tottenham here and there, but he hasn't been consistently playing a high level football. So for him to get a season under his belt where he's number one choice and he's whatever, I thought even if it's in Turkey, I think that'll be good for him. However, for Sessegnon, he's played top level football now for a number of years. Ever since he was 16, he was regular in the Fulham for the Championship, regular for Fulham in the Premier League, regular for Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. So he's kind of had that top level experience. I'm not sure a season in Turkey helps a player like him in the same way I would help Tanganga in that sense. That's the difference, I would say. But it'll be interesting to see if there's any developments on that.
Yeah, look, we'll see, and we'll obviously keep you updated as these rumours develop. But let's move on. Let's talk about Ollie Skip, because he went off with just under 10 minutes to go yesterday for the England under-21s, holding his groin. Clearly he has a groin injury, and Lee Carsley, the under-21 manager, was talking about him as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, let me get those quotes up from Lee Carsley. He basically said, where is it? I can't see it now. He basically said that he went off feeling stiffness in his groin, and they're going to assess him tomorrow. There you go. Yeah, go on then. It
says, I saw him on the treatment table with ice on his groin. He said there was a bit of stiffness there. We should know more tomorrow, but Ollie's a robust player. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's anything serious.
It doesn't sound. It sounds precautionary, a bit like the Son one, because just stiffness in your groin. I'm glad that he felt that and decided to go off, because that's something that could lead to an injury if you let it exacerbate. But it's all about if he's still feeling stiffness come the weekend, he's obviously not going to be able to play. So
do you think if he is injured this weekend, we go for Winks, or does Ndombele come back in?
Well, you'd have to. Well, Winks is ahead of him, I guess. You'd have to say. I would want Ndombele in, but I think at the moment Nuno might see this as an opportunity to give Winks a run. I'm guessing.
Can we recall Papa Sarr?
Maybe. I'd like that, but I think he goes for Winks just based on history of his selections. Winks played in the Conference League, so, and he obviously his last good start I know was against Passos, but he played quite well. So I'm guessing Nuno will probably pick him, and also he probably sees Winks as a more similar player to Skip as opposed to Ndombele, who's maybe in rotation with Delhi.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. So I'm assuming Winks comes in for this one, and it's an opportunity for him to show why he was so highly thought of previously, show why he's an England international, and start recapturing the form he used to have, because he's been off form for about over a year now, and he needs to take these opportunities if he's going to stake a claim for the first team. And not nice for it to open up because of a Skip injury after a great start to the season for him, but hopefully he sees this as a window if Skip is out for the weekend.
Yeah. And last but not least, Steven Bergwijn going off injured for the Netherlands in a 6-1 win last night. He went off with around half an hour to go. I believe, like as you mentioned before, he did play well in the game, and he was sitting on the sidelines with ice pack around his ankle, which didn't look great. He didn't look happy about it, and it's a big loss if he's out.
Yeah, again, we won't know until how bad it is. If he feels sweaty, maybe he probably has some swelling in his ankle if he was holding a pack of ice there. So it doesn't look great. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Sometimes you see players holding their having ice packs and stuff, and there's nothing too serious about it. It's just trying to it's like a precaution kind of thing. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, yeah, he's had a good start to the season. He's also playing well. Played well yesterday, so it'll be a stop in his tracks. But it could be an opportunity for Brian Hill. Son is also injured as well, I'm arguing, which is quite which we'll have to wait and see. But if Son is also injured, then it's hopefully an opportunity for Brian Hill to come in and it's also stake claim for the first team on the left-hand side. I'll be excited to see what he can do, given a start against Crystal Palace. It'll be interesting to see what kind of performance he puts in, if he's kind of anonymous in the game or if he's really involved and he actually makes an impact. It'll be interesting to see with Hill.
It's so annoying though, just with these kind of our momentum with three wins in a row, and now this team's being broken up a bit, isn't it, with all these injuries? So it is a bit annoying.
But you need a squad, don't you? You need a squad.
That's the thing. Our squad is thin. It's very thin. And yeah, Hill can come in and do a job, but we don't know how he's going to take to the Premier League straight away. And we're relying on him heavily if Son and Bergwijn are out injured, heavily.
Well, it depends how long they're injured for.
Yeah, but let's say they're both out for the Chelsea game.
Yeah, then
next
it's going to be
games. It's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, it will be very difficult, but let's hope we can that he can step up and deal with it. It's going to be hard. It's a lot of pressure on him, and also, if he doesn't have the best of games, you're going to have saying, "Oh, he's not ready." Who's this player? He's average. All this kind of stuff at a very young age. A lot of pressure, but hopefully he can deal with that. He seems to be a player who likes a bit of pressure. He's captain for the under-21s, so he likes to take a bit of a leadership role, which is positive. So. Hopefully he can make an impact. I'm intrigued to see how he performs, but I'm not going to expect too much from him just yet.